Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
What is going on, A2D family? It is another wonderful Friday night. I thank all of you for joining us with your questions, comments, all that good stuff. And I'm very happy to be joined by Mr. Tom Arnone. We've been missing him. Busy man helping those kids out and doing his thing. Thanks for joining us tonight, Tom.
Yeah, brother. Anytime I can, I'm here.
I love it. I know the fans love it. But, anyways, I thought you were saying something. My apologies here. That sound was still going. But tonight's show is brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. Find them at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. That is in the Cherry Hill, Burlington, and Princeton locations. Dr. Paul Vidal, he's our doc. Make him yours. You can also check out Ambuck Services. They are the gutter and deck experts of South Jersey. Give them a call at 856-879-5530. That was Ambuck Services. You can find them at ambuckservices.com. Check out all A2D radio merchandise at phillydrinkers.com. Philly Drinkers LLC. Thank you for all the great stuff that you guys do. What's going on, John? What's going on, Trayvon, Devil Wolf, David, everybody? Hope you're all having a good Friday night. Just want to let you guys know tonight's show is only going to be about an hour. Sorry, we have some other things that we have to get to, but we're going to bring you the best hour we possibly can. So thank you guys for tuning in. You saw the poll question tonight. We'll jump right into it. A lot of things that we've been talking about, and actually, Tom, love having you on because this is something you and I talked about for a long time. Alshon Jeffrey, something that, we thought would be possible putting him on the PUP list. Right now he's there, but what's called the reserve PUP list. So he could come back at any time before week one, be ready to go. Now, the question on the poll was, will he be on the roster come week one, or do you think we're going to put him on the PUP and give one of these younger guys a chance?
Well, what I would hope is he's on the roster week one. You win with veterans in this league. He signed a lot of money. You want to try to get as much production as you can out of him. I'd rather not rely on rookie wide receivers year one, and especially late picks. Jalen Reagor is a different story, but late picks I can't rely on too much. So, and then are you relying on? Who's JJ Arcega-Whiteside? We don't know. So at the end of the day, I hope he's able to go week one. So I'll bet just for fun that Alshon's ready to go week one, and we have him and Daeshon week one, which I think everybody would take at this point.
Yeah, think about that. And this is something you and I talked about after the draft. It's like everybody's talking about all these young receivers. And it's like, look, we love watching the highlight reels with all their touchdowns and all their good plays. It's like, but let's try to take a look at all of their plays, all of their work. And, that's all in college anyway. So you have to take all of that with a grain of salt. We haven't seen anything in the NFL. So like you just said, a veteran receiver is how you win in this game. And it's how you're going to make these younger guys better. So Alshon Jeffrey, if he's healthy, yeah, I would love to see him. And I'm really hoping that, he is on this roster come week one. So right now in my mind, it sucks because you know how Doug is. Brian says here he'll be on the PUP, and that's the thing. You saw that they were talking about JJ Arcega-Whiteside earlier today. There was a few interviews, they're hoping he's getting better. They're real high on him, blah, blah. That's great. They talk about Mac Hollins like that. You know what I mean? I have faith in JJ Arcega-Whiteside, right? But I just, it's all talk. You know what I mean? So let's hope Alshon's healthy. You know what I mean? Yo, Jake, what's going on, my man? Yeah, and Jake agrees here, but he doesn't see it. So that's the thing. So, Tom, like the risk here is, right, that if you do bring him back too soon, if he's like, just like we've done before, he gets hurt. And then if he ends up on IR, rather than the 6 weeks he'd miss on PUP, he's now missing at least 9 coming out after the bye, week 10, 11 maybe. So that's risky business. So we understand the risk there. I think everybody does. But I think the one thing I wanted to talk about, though, was the fact that Alshon Jeffrey's still a pretty damn good receiver, right? Like, if he's on the field, and we saw what that one game, and it was really only half that they started showing up with Carson Wentz, Jeffrey, and Jackson. So I'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you think of Alshon Jeffrey, and why do you think people are sleeping? I understand he struggled. I do. But do you think that's because of injuries and all the talk? And do you think he can get by that?
I mean, at this point of his career, I don't think you can run away from the injuries, right? So, they are what they are. But can he still be productive? I think he still can be. Do I got a little bit more confidence with him on the field right now than a younger player? Yeah. But now the question is, like a lot of players, is he going to be on the field? I'm just having fun with it and saying, sure, he'll be ready to go. He'll be ready to go, let's say, week 1 or week 2. So I'm just hoping for it. That doesn't mean he will be. I'm just hoping for it. Just like I'm hoping there's a season that happens too. But, that's a story for another day. But I'm hoping that he's ready to go or as close to being ready to go as possible. So what's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario, he's out for 4 weeks. Fine. I still think he can play at a high enough level in this league. And I think if we want to get to where we want to get to, him and Daeshon need to be healthy contributors.
I agree. And at least, you look at it and you say, well, if he starts on the pup, and this is something I've said, but you have to look at it on the flip side, oh, yeah, it's going to give these younger guys a chance to learn. They have no preseason. It's like, okay, well, I really don't want to go into this season with guys learning on the fly. Like, we had enough of that last year. So I think you have a great point there that you really need Alshon and Daeshon, especially to start this season without any training camp. None of these guys have really been able to work with the team. So at least to have them for a little bit of time to learn under, we all expect Jeffrey, and not to be a dick about it, but Jeffrey and Jackson don't always stay healthy. So as long as they can be healthy in the beginning, right?
That's their thing, right? So, not as much Alshon more recently, but Daeshon's always been a guy who's been nicked. Always a guy who's missed time. So, for us to get to an NFC title game in the place we want to get to, I prefer a healthy roster.
How about it? And, if they start off healthy, that gives some time for these younger guys to learn, like we were mentioning here. So I agree with you 100%. I'd love to see Alshon and Daeshon start off as our starters. Greg Ward there in the slot, maybe one of these guys can push him. We saw that last week, Marquise Goodwin actually opted out, a name that we were excited about, but a name we also said wasn't necessarily just a lock to make this roster, right? This isn't, people are losing their minds. Like, we just lost. I think, honestly, what it just means is we finally get what you've been talking about. I thought you'd be happy, Tom. Jalen Reagor getting that damn time. You use a first-round pick. Use this damn kid. Marquise Goodwin, you're out of the way. Now, Greg Ward, Hightower, and Watkins, they have better chances. But what do you see with that Marquise Goodwin situation?
Yeah, to me, it's not a guy who was even a lock to make the roster. I think anybody that thought he was crazy. There's so many wide receivers on this roster to begin with. I'm not saying all of them can play, but there was no guarantees of him making this roster. So to me, it is what it is. It's not a big deal to me. There's other important pieces, and you're right. When you use a first-round pick on a kid, he better play. And he better play the majority of the damn snaps, or we screwed up again.
Exactly. And that's what we talk about. It's like we get it, and we talk about the grain of salt talk, right? That Doug Peterson gives us all the time. And it's like, look, man, we're a little scared when he said, hey, he's going to have time to learn under Jackson, but he is, he's going to learn under Jackson, but he's going to see that field. But what was scaring me was don't do that same thing with Goodwin. Don't make him behind Jackson and Goodwin, So I think this opens up more space and it gives these younger guys a chance. And honestly, that's another one. Why have a third guy that you're talking about? Oh, he's injured all the time. Like, sure, he has Olympic speed when he plays, availability is the best ability. So I think that, he needs to be healthy, but hey, the guy just had a kid, his issue. So, hey, all good for him, dude. I'm no problem with it. And I think this kind of gives you a chance to get younger like you wanted to. So, but we talked about it. We're scared because it's like, oh, if you would have had someone like a Judy, a Lamb, I know you feel how you feel about Lamb, but it's like, you'd have been maybe more comfortable. I'm very comfortable with Reagor, but I do understand people's concern because he's not a number one guy. You're like, dude, you just use 21 over Patrick Queen, Kenneth, a lot of guys that people liked, Justin Jefferson. But I'm excited about him and concerned about injuries in the beginning. Vester, I love that because, see, the thing is here, someone brought up to me, they're like, hey, it was rough losing Brooks before training camp started. So good thing we don't have preseason, right? Because guys will just be getting hurt in preseason. Well, let me tell you something. They're knocking rust off in preseason. So now you're going to see these guys getting thrown in the fire. Sure, they're scrimmaging, doing all that stuff, but there's no such thing as game time. You know that, playing 60-minute game. So we're probably going to see a whole lot of injuries. So, Vester, I agree with you, man. It's scary. You would have made it. Yeah, you can't teach speed. Deacon, I love that you said that. That was something brought up in the interviews today. Carson was really excited. One of the things that he said was missing, was speed. And you can't teach that. And you saw what he did with Jackson. So let's see if Jackson's healthy. Rieger's in. And one of these guys like Hightower Watkins maybe sneaks on. We're going to find out, but I'm excited because now you have the ability to take off the top and you open things up underneath for your guys like Ward, Jeffrey. Almost called him Jeffries, dear God. Alshon Jeffrey, and you're getting me, internet. And, you got guys like Ertz and Goddard who obviously are going to eat, but they're going to eat more now. And it's going to obviously open up the run game. So, yeah, you can't teach speed. And that was the name of the game, right? We talked about this, Tom, like defense all over. So even they talked about the linebackers today, bunch of speedy guys they added. They knew that we're all very pissed off and questionable about the linebacker. That's a whole nother topic we'll get to. But, it's speed. So that's correct, Dean. Definitely can. I saw you asked earlier a different question about that. But, yeah, Watkins. Yeah, JJ, Arthega-Whiteside, Ward, Quez, Hightower. Yep, those guys right there. I think it's 6 receivers. Ralphie and I last week did a 53-man roster. We talked about Alshon going on the pup possibly. Now he's there, but we'll see. Week 1, trust me, I'd love to be optimistic. But what do you see there with those 6? Or do you see it at 5 maybe? Or
them ones, I just think that I'm there. 6. There's a 6.
Yeah.
If Alshon's not there, then maybe they go.
Yeah.
Somebody else sneaks in there, right? But I'm going with what Parataro said.
Yep, I'm with you.
I think he's right on.
Yep, exactly. And this is what we talked about. And like you just alluded to a little bit earlier ago, that we don't care that Goodwin's gone because we have guys. And sure, there's question marks, but that's a back end. And we just got to hope that what Tom said in the beginning, health, stay healthy, Alshon and Daeshon, and then allow these kids to grow. One of the things I'm excited about, we one of my first shows here, you and I got to talk about the additions, not just players. We talked about some of the coaches we were excited about, the medical staff changing, all that good stuff. Well, they made an addition the other day. Hold on, before I get to that, fellas, what can the NFL learn from baseball? Not do everything that baseball is not. Get it in a bubble. The team with the most social distancing going on while the sport's played, and they can't figure out a bubble. And the Marlins screwed us. Really, it's who it is. But selfish people, wear masks, social distance, figure it out, man. But the NFL knows what they need to do. You heard some of the players today saying that the NovaCare complex, they feel like is a bubble. They feel very safe. A lot of the coaches said that, a lot of the players. Everybody feels like they're really safe, and that's what you need, a safe environment where they're checking their temperatures, doing stuff like that. And if they're willing to do what is needed to be done, like Carson said, like no going out, doing stuff like that, sacrifice for one season, baby. Let's go get ourselves another trophy. But then what I was talking about before the question, good question, Don. And thank you for tuning in, man. You're always tuning in. Love that. Jason Avant. Love Jason Avant, Mr. Shore Hands himself. Now he gets to come in on the Bill Walsh, one of those programs that they did. And hey, whatever it is, he's an assistant now. I also like that Matthew Harper we talked about, assistant, and Aaron Moorhead. 3 new guys up there working with the receivers. How are you feeling about that? You like that move?
Well, I mean, I like bringing in a guy who played. I like bringing in a guy like Jason Avant. So we'll see, but we don't know. I mean, I think they're in better shape. With at least some pedigree, right? So I'll go with that. But at the end of the day, players play, and you gotta hope. And your quarterbacks, an elite talent. So why not? I don't get all worked up in the who's the assistants, but I do like the addition of Jason Avant. I do like the addition of a name that we know, we trust, and a guy I'll run with.
Love it. Sorry for the little interruption. Herschel ran in here. Herschel Walker's namesake had to get on. He just had to get on the show. That's that little son of a bitch.
Running this 40 time.
Yeah, he heard speed, so he wanted to get up here and show his speed. Greg, what's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in. Brian, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in, guys. Giannis should have found out 3 minutes ago. I did not get to watch the rest of that. I was getting ready for this, but NBA's back. Basketball, I'm very happy that that's back. I know baseball is scaring us all right now, but I'm holding on to every damn game like it's my last. How about you, Tom?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I got a good feeling about the NBA. They're gonna finish off here, but we'll see about baseball. But I am holding on to every bit of it that we can get right now. Absolutely.
I agree with you 100% what you just said there. The basketball, I think, is hold on to it. Even if you don't like basketball, you better get into it now because baseball is looking scary right now. Football, yeah, it looks good right now, but we've got some days, guys. We've got 40-plus days to wait, so we'll see what happens in between then. Enjoy basketball while you can. Marlins, ATL, strip bars. Yeah, these guys, everybody's going out. It's like, you can't do that, man. Right now, you got to just be selfless. You know what I mean? You got to think about others, and especially when you're a professional player, dude. And if you don't, then opt out. Just opt out, dude. You don't have to give it to other people, especially when you got guys like Didi Gregarious going around with kidney problems, and that's messed up, dude. That's not cool. He agrees to the poll. He's not counting on Alshon, Greg says. Well, Greg, that was something we hit on right off the bat. Tom said he would love to see him, and so would I. Now, this is something that we don't know because you know how damn vague the Eagles are. You know how I literally said this before they finally put him on the pup. You heard Doug talking, and he was like, oh, yeah. They asked him the question how he was looking. Oh, heck, he was looking great. I'm real excited. So what's that mean to his health? Oh, yeah, looking great, looking real well. It's like, what's that mean? He looked good in his shirt he wore last night? What's that?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate
it. Yeah. Oh, really in-depth stuff there, guys. And sometimes that's on the reporter. Sometimes you got to ask a better question that you're just leaving it up there like, Jesus. But, I mean, it's very – they're not going to give us that, because they won't even give us – we don't know if Lane Johnson, Nate, Gerry, and Jordan Mailata even have corona. It could be someone in their family, something like that. But, I mean, Lane Johnson had it. But, this is something they're not going to just give us the information on. So I understand it, but we're all very hopeful that Alshon comes back because the thing we were stressing there, Greg, is, it gives you time that in case these old heads do pull the old getting hurt card on us like usual, we have these guys a little more acclimated to the offense, whether that's on the practice squad or behind them. But, yeah, I'd love to have them. Tommy, tell Ralph the Lakers don't look. It's actually Tommy on the ones and twos tonight. He's actually double dipping. Ralph is on vacation, so you can tell him when he comes back.
Ralph living the life right now.
Son of a bitch. Well, we miss him, but his Lakers do suck, so we'll throw that out there. That was a crazy game last night.
Don, we will relay the message.
We will definitely do that.
But they did that with the Clippers. I mean, how many guys, important guys, not playing? So, take that for what it is, Ralphie.
Exactly. Lou Will, what's it, Hardenell or something? Literally, though, that was a great game either way. I was so happy to have it back. The game before was good, too. So I was enjoying it like you and I were just saying. Take everything you can while you can. So hockey and NBA. And that's another one, Brian. Hockey. We're all very excited to have the Flyers back. If you guys aren't tuning in, well, you better be to the hockey happy hour. Brian down here, he knows what's up, and get excited because I hope the hockey finishes as well. Let's hope that we pick up where we left off.
Yep.
Oh, I'm trying. It's been weird though, right? Like it's really like I'm excited watching it, but I still feel like weird. I'm like, what is this? Like, is the no fans? It's
yeah.
Weird,
I mean, the NBA bubble thing looks cool. I like what they're doing. I like how they had like the virtual fans and some of that stuff. I think they did a really good job with that. Major League Baseball looks a little weird at times. Yes. I think you need to get cardboard cutouts everywhere then and just fill it up if you're going to go cardboard cutouts or something for the eyes, not only for us, but I think the players too. But regardless of that, it didn't matter. So, I mean, it's just it is a little weird. It's different, but it's cool. It's back, and we'll take whatever we can get.
Yep. I wake up every day. I'm like, okay, what's on? Every game, and I'm like, okay, no matter what I'm doing, there's a damn game on. So, it's nice to have it back. We've been without sports for 140. How long was it? It was too much. Like But hey, without you, man, I wouldn't have made it. Like, it was awesome being able to join the family and be able to at least talk sports. And like you and I talked, you're like, you said to me, you're like, I want to bring you on because this is a time where you see the big dogs aren't putting anything out. Where are they at? So you wanted to bring me on to talk. And dude, I have found nothing but joy every Friday since I've been here. So I thank you for that, man. Love coming on here and getting to shoot the shit with all of you, the fans, everybody. HUD need to be on the Sixers virtual. Dude, that's correct. We do. We need to start making sure. That's a good point. We need to look into
playoff time. Playoff time. Better be on there.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. We'll look into it. I wonder if we could all get one, all wearing a shirt. Takeover talk, man.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, but this week it's pumped. Tomorrow, Sixers. Sunday, Flyers. So we're just tonight trying to bring you a little bit of fire. Any questions you have on anything, please throw them our way. We're just pretty much right now, we're going to talk about Daeshon and just pretty much talk about the expectations, what we see, some of what was talked about today with some of the interviews. Some of the lead Eagles reporters were able to have a Zoom conference with some of those guys. And so I got some of that stuff down. So figure we'll touch the head on that. One of the things I know you'll be excited, we're very excited about, Miles Sanders. They talked about him and they were very high on him. And, there was no talk about it. Don't worry about it. He is ready for a full load of work. We're all excited for that. That's not the question here. What we're worried about is when he's given that full load, does he stay healthy the whole time? So one of the things that they brushed up on was Corey Clement. They had asked him about bringing in a veteran, something you and I, Tom, have talked about all the time. Devontae Freeman. How many times we've said it? I don't know, a million maybe, but making sure if something happens, you're not relying on guys like Boston Scott and Corey Clement. But Deuce Staley was quick to say, we have Corey Clement. He's a veteran in the locker room. He's their little bruiser. Hey, man. And Boston Scott, they call him little baby, like
Thanks, Deuce.
something.
Thanks, Deuce.
Yeah. So now
nobody's going to say anything bad about anybody.
Exactly. So now you're going to get fans all pumped up. Oh, Corey Clement, he's back from 3 years ago. He's magically the same guy. It's like,
here he is.
Mm-hmm.
Here he is. He's going to rush for 2,000 freaking yards. No, he's not.
The Philly fans.
No, he's not.
We go crazy.
Over guys who aren't good enough, Jimmy. Over guys who aren't good enough, like our MO.
And what you have to understand is these people, yep. And these people literally are diamonds in the rough that come out of nowhere. So teams don't even see them coming. That's how they make an impact. Now you're looking at years and years of people able to watch tape on him, understand his game, and understand it's not that great of a game, and understand that he's got some injury history. So I think that he could definitely make the roster because they haven't made any moves. So you're looking at guys that are veterans, it's like Miles in Boston, just came on the team last year. And then you're looking at, obviously, you have Corey Clement for this will be his fourth year. So it's like, okay. So he'll probably make it. But one of the conversations we had was, is it Mike Warren? Is it Elijah Holyfield? We really like Adrian Killins, but, is it enough time to prove your point? But maybe he'll have that time in practice squad. Mitch, giving Tom a shout out.
It will be expanded, right? Aren't the practice squads expanded?
Yep. It was going to go from 10 to 12 this year. Now they're talking 16. So that's going to be interesting. And for now, that's what it is. And for now, the active game day rosters are 55, and you can have 48 dressed. So one of those has to be a lineman, but that's cool. You get to add 2 more players. But they might up that, with the whole Corona deal. You might have a lot more players in place that probably the practice squad where, just in case, and they're talking about in an interview having depth behind their coaches. Like,
what?
Wild times, right?
Then you got a bubble it, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like the NBA bubble. And you got to bubble it. My bad. I mean the Snickers.
No, you're fine.
You got
wait, man.
I didn't mean to rub that into you. I know you just got, you're just at the dentist. So I don't want to rub. I don't want to rub.
It's been rough. I had a good amount of soup today.
James Harden is hurt right now. FYI.
Oh.
Ankle maybe?
James Harden. That dude, I don't know, man. He is so good, but
he's walking, but
you remember
He must have twisted.
You remember when it was him, Durant? Oh my God, and Westbrook? They should have won, dude.
Yeah, I mean they were just too young.
Could have been. Yeah, exactly. Harden wasn't who he is now. I mean, he is ridiculous, hitting half-court shots half the time. Like, what is this guy? And him and Westbrook together, again, that's very interesting.
Absolutely.
But that whole like little tiny lineup they got going on there with Tucker at center, like
they got the boss lineup of all time. It's like a freaking pickup game. You know what I'm saying, Jimmy? It's like a fucking pickup.
It's
game.
Embarrassing.
Yeah,
dude. When I watch him, I'm like, what is this, man? It's like you just basket on hitting every three. See, dude, it's embarrassing. With no sports, y'all be doing a great. I appreciate that, Don. I really do, and I appreciate Tom giving me a platform. You know, Tom's been keeping this baby rolling for years, and it's awesome to be a part of it. So, yeah, I'm just doing my part every Friday to try to get you guys entertained. This week, a lot of people went on vacation, but I was happy to be able to get Tom on because last couple of weeks, obviously, he's been a busy man, and it's always a good time when Tom comes on. And you know, he mentioned I was at the dentist, so if I'm not as crazy and freaking out as much, I apologize. I feel like I got drop kicked by a rhino. Yeah, but we're all good. We're all good.
I'm the same way. I'm exhausted, but it's bigger than us. You know what I mean? It's bigger than
exactly.
Us. We're here. We are trying to get through it. Trying to give you an hour the best we can. You're right, Gavin.
Exactly.
Big trouble's not even the word, Gavin. Okay? The freaking Titanic
doomed.
The Titanic is sinking, Gav. If that shit goes on, you understand? You know, we shouldn't even talk it into existence anymore. But you're 100% right.
Yeah. Exactly. You're right. Now, John here says 16 people on the practice squad. Lock 4. Now, that's something we've been talking about. Maybe they add more. Maybe they don't. I would like to see more just because of it takes one person to take out an entire. Now, Lane Johnson was out doing camps with people. So I don't know how much that spread or when he got it, but hopefully everybody is safe. And now that's why you're not seeing preseason. That's why you're seeing this limited training camp with 8 practices, you know, so you're going to have, you know, where Doug talked about, scrimmages and try to have game time situations, but you're going against each other. It's just not the same. NFLPA voted for 0. Yep. Want to know how many borderline fringe roster players. Yeah. Poor guys won't have a chance to make. Yeah.
It can be the same. Jimmy. It can be the same if they were allowed to practice hard, but you're not even allowed to practice hard anymore. If you were allowed to practice like you did in the 2000s, early 2000s.
Exactly.
And be aggressive a little bit, then you could easily get ready and game speed ready, but you're not even allowed to. You're not even allowed to goddamn touch each other.
Yep. And I think Doug kind of alluded to that. You could tell in his voice, he was kind of like, you know, he's like, I think we're going to try to change these practices up a little. And, you know, there's rules in place. So that's what's stupid about it. But it's like, you know, he wants to try to do everything he can, but you could see it. Like, I think he kind of had the same thought process you're having going on, but he can't really say that, you know, but it's like, man, like we could really just toughen these dudes up real quick in 8 weeks, but it's going to be a learning process. And you heard that they were saying, you know, the one good thing is the mental aspect, you know, that a lot of these kids have got to learn a lot of things. And I'm not saying that that's a great thing. Like, cause that sucks ass that they did not get to see any playing time, but I guess we'll try to take anything we possibly can positive from it. But
thanks, Mitch. Thanks, Mitch. Just bought a hat.
Nice, Mitch. Love it.
Yeah, Harden through it. 6 playoff teams in the NFC. Don wants to know. I don't know. I mean, Packers, Eagles,
Seahawks,
Cowboys, Seahawks, Saints. Probably. Yeah, is that 6?
Niners, maybe, or Cardinals.
I'm down on the Niners this year. I'm down on the Niners.
Me too. I don't think they're gonna. Yeah, I think the Cardinals could smoke them. And
I got a weird Super Bowl hangover happening there. Not that they're not good. Super Bowl hangover.
And you and I talked about it. Richard Sherman. You know, you can't stay great forever, man. He's still good, but and it's not him that I'm worried about. It's that other side of the ball. So I think that secondary is going to hurt a little bit, but still a good defense. I'm not saying anything like that, but. I think that they have a tough division, probably the toughest one, you know. Seahawks, Rams, quick, Niners.
Right? It got tough quick, right? I mean, it wasn't like that for a long time. It was really like San Fran.
Seeing Jalen Ramsey, DeAndre Hopkins, like, thanks, AFC South.
Yep, I mean that's a loaded up division, so it's going to be a dogfight. I'm interested to see how that one goes. But there's a lot of. I mean, you could pick any team from that division and be like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean. And I wouldn't argue with you. I'd be okay, makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's when you have a division that good. You know, I think both the Eagles and Cowboys are both playoff teams. So we'll see how that shakes out. Knowing there's 4 good teams in that conference over there, you know, and you know, do they beat up on each other? I think they beat up on each other a little bit, which is a good thing for everybody else. That's why I think the Eagles and Cowboys can still beat up on the Giants and Redskins right now, and why they still can. I think they got to take advantage of that shit.
Yep, agreed. And you know, we have a tough fight with the Cowboys, you know, like you said, but we could beat up on the bottom 2, I believe, as well. You know, anything can happen in the NFL, but you know, from a standpoint of the overall season, I think we have the upper hand there. It's definitely gonna be a dogfight with the Cowboys. But you look at those other divisions, you know, those 4 teams, like you mentioned there, like that's wild. Then you're looking at the North. You got, you know, I don't know if the Lions are going to step it up with Stafford at any point, but you got the Packers. You know, the Bears have Trubisky, but if they put in Foles, you know, magical things could happen. You never know. And then the Vikings, they stick around. And you look at the South, you know, you have the Bucks with Tom Brady and Gronk now, and LaShawn McCoy going there. Like, what the hell? And Panthers and Saints, you know, you got a tough. The NFC's getting tougher, man. It's not so much. You remember when we were younger, 2000s, you know, AFC ruled the land, right?
Listen, brother, you got to win a division. So you don't have to worry about anybody else. Then go win your division. You don't got to worry about anybody else. I forgot the Bucks. The Bucks to me might be just as good as the Saints. I mean, we got to see how that shakes out. You know, I might gun to my head, take the Bucks. You know, because I'm excited to see them 2 go against each other. That's why I'm in such a need for the bubble. They just got to take one for the team and bubble up so they can play. Like, just take notes from the MLB. It's not going to work. You're talking about pro athletes, young guys. They you know, 1, their bodies are in great shape, but 2, they don't think like a 40-year-old would think. You know what I mean? So that's fine. So just bubble it up. It's a couple months and let's go.
Exactly. Be selfless, guys, and you're getting paid millions. So, I mean, it's the least you can do. And I understand that. Anyways, health is the most important thing here. So we want you to be healthy. So just do the things that make you healthy. Then we have football, and everything is perfect in the world again. But you know, that's another one I was just thinking about. I was looking through, and it's just like, oh my God, like I keep forgetting that Tom Brady now has to come into the NFC. And I'm very intrigued by the Shady McCoy. Now, clearly he doesn't have that much in the tank where, you know, Andy Reid didn't even dress him for the Super Bowl. But that does give them a veteran running back. And that's something that they're lacking, you know. So I think it gave them a missing piece. And that makes them even more dangerous, whether or not, you know, LaShawn McCoy is going for more than 300 yards. I'm just saying, you know, I just think that he at least gives them a veteran to teach.
It gives them another name. You know what I mean? I don't think they want to get too old, you know. And
oh no, I think he teaches. I think he becomes more of a teacher than anything. I don't think he really sees the field more than Ronald Jones or who's that other one they got? He's really with it's like a long name. He was a good pass catching back last year. I don't know why he came on at the end of last year, but
a little speed.
Yeah, and I don't think that McCoy's gonna. I just don't think he's gonna get into their time. I think this is one of those things where they wanted a veteran leader in the locker room. Bruce Arians is trying to be a cool Madden guy and he thinks it's going to help, but I don't think he's going to make an impact. But this team just got a little bit better. So, yeah, I'm with you. 2 times a year, we're going to see Drew Brees versus Tom Brady. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that, man.
That's definitely going to be fun. Gortzer, Eagles top 10 defense this year. Yeah, I agree. And a top 12 offense.
We talked about it, yeah.
And I think they can be.
Look at Darius Slay, man. They talked today, you know, that he's going to move all over the place at times, you know, and it was funny because Jim Schwartz was like, it's not going to be 100%. It could be 50%. He's here, 75%, because they talk about one of the things that we got our ass beat a lot with last year is people running those pick plays, those rub plays. Kept happening where guys aren't playing man and now our zone's getting jacked up. People are crossing, bumping into each other. So now he's talking about cross training, multiple positions with guys. We talked about this, sub packages, all this crazy stuff, but we talk about it doesn't matter what you call it. It doesn't matter what name you want to call it. We're moving guys into positions to succeed. So if you see Darius Slay on the field, you're going to think, oh, he's doing this. No, you can't have that. Can't just stick him on the left and that's that. We're going to disguise things. Jim Schwartz is finally going to get to use some pieces like we talked about, man. He has guys that are versatile. Vontae Maddox can play nickel corner, outside, safety. You got Sidney Jones can play outside, inside. Rasul can play corner. We hope safety, but he's a special teamers. These guys provide depth in other areas. So I think this defense is going to be kicking ass. And Tom, I know you love Nickel Roby-Coleman as well. Another great addition to the secondary. And you look at guys like Hargrave. Jim Schwartz said today that it would actually, you would see at times Cox, Hargrave, and Jackson on the field at the same time. We've talked about that. 3 monsters destroying. Go ahead and run the ball. Go ahead, come get some. I'm excited, very excited about this team. And I see Gordster says here, offense top 12. I'd be willing to say top 10 again with the Eagles there. And maybe around the 12 range too. I want to see more, but we saw what Carson can do without weapons. Let's hope that his weapons stay healthy this year and we see what he can do.
Yeah, no. Text from buddy is saying not sure how the NFL can bubble, even though I agree they better and need to. But playoff teams talking 5 months away from your family, non-playoff teams 4 months, crazy. Team 5.5 months. It's crazy to think. Hopefully, NFL has a plan, but he doesn't say it. That's from sweeps. He doesn't say it, and I agree with him because it's extremely hard, right? So. It's extremely hard to pull off. It really is, because you are asking for a long time away from your families, and that's going to be tough. And that's why, you're seeing guys start to opt out a little bit. Somebody talk about Damian Williams and Nate Soldier, just a couple big names, and then obviously the whole Patriots defense, it feels like. So, you're starting to see that, because I don't know what plan the NFL has, but what I will say is the NFL, if they don't have a plan, they drop the ball as bad as the MLB did, because at the end of the day, they're the ones who said we're going off, we're gonna go off, and we're going off business as usual. And right now, I think that's up in the air because of what's going on in Major League Baseball. So I don't know how they do it. I just don't know how they pull it off with so many players. There's got to be so many protocols put in place, and I think that's why you're seeing guys have to opt out, because maybe there is some rumblings of a bubble, and that could be a reason guys are opting out already. Could very well be.
Point.
I mean, just because we're all in agreement on a bubble doesn't mean it can work. You know what I mean? Either it doesn't mean guys are on board with it, because all the things that are spot on. You got to factor that stuff in. It's not a video game, so we got to factor in 5.5 months from your family. Shit, they better have a backup plan, because right now. Yeah, listen, Joseph, I agree with you. Military sleeps in the dirt for 4 to 12 months from the family. I agree. But military aren't also privileged athletes. Remember that. These aren't privileged guys. These guys work.
Those are prima donnas. Yeah.
We got to remember who we're talking about here. A lot of privilege going on when you're making millions, brother, compared to when you're making in the military. And that's not a shot at our military. That's just facts. I love our military. They should get paid more. They should get taken care of more. That's an argument for a different day. Right now, what we're talking about is strictly privileged NFL players. One, anybody staying away from their family, a lot of guys aren't signing up for that, right? Because it's not what they signed up for, right? When you go in the military, you're signing up for that. A lot of these guys didn't sign up for that. So we're going to respect that a lot of people are going to have different opinions on it, and that's fine. But what we need to understand is, what is the plan? What is the plan moving forward? Because right now, from the NFL, there's nothing of a plan right now that how they're going to pull off an entire season when we're talking about 5.5 months. And that's a question, like, are guys pulling out and opting out because they smell a bubble coming? I don't know.
Great point. And that's something, that's been talked about. And it seems, you keep seeing these players lashing out on social media and saying stuff like, hey, we need some damn answers, because they do want to know that. Am I going to be away from my family for that long? And, to Joseph's point, the military does that. You're damn right. And we love it and appreciate that. But, like Tom said, these are not military guys. They didn't sign up to fight for the country. They signed up to play a sport, so that's a whole different mindset. And I really just think, there's some selfish people out there, and that's just, you're going to run into that in the NFL. There's a lot more players. And like Tom said, they're younger. They have a younger mindset, and they want to go have fun. And that's unfortunate, because that fun is going to turn. And you see it, a lot of stuff in the world today. It's not just football players, but if you want to have damn sports, man, and you've got the millions to do it, why wouldn't you do it? And if you don't want to do it, just opt out. If you want to be with your family, be like Marquise Goodwin and opt out, man. Don't screw your team.
I don't think anybody's holding it against guys opting out. And in that case, roster spots to some guys that, are some lower level guys. But, the problem is you just hope too many guys don't opt out. And then you hope that the guys that are staying in, if they do bubble, is that what they're doing? What are the protocols? It's going to be interesting to see. We'll find out soon. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're just all guessing here, guys. We don't know. And you see how the world's going. It's just like day by day, guys. We'll keep you posted. But Pop, come on, man. I understand that these guys are getting older and might not necessarily have their arm strength, but look at the receivers they got, man. You're telling me that they're not going to be able to light it up with Michael Thomas, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin? Come on, man. Those are going to be some fun shows.
Oh, yeah, they will. Yeah, they will.
But I get it. Trust me. They're old. I want to beat their ass. Trust me. If it's Carson Wentz's turn to take over the reins, I hope we get to beat all those old heads. I hope he takes out Rodgers, Brees. I want everybody, man, because to be the best, you got to beat the best. So prove it. And what we did was get him weapons. The Packers didn't give Aaron Rodgers weapons, and now the one they picked up in free agency, he opted out. So at least our team did that, even though we're all questioning what the hell in round 2. At least we got some pieces in other places. Biggest problem on defense, Gorser says, will be whoever number 2 corner. And that was something brought up today in the interview, And they said, open competition. It's open, man. And a lot of these guys, you probably assume that Nickel, Roby Coleman, and Cre'Von LeBlanc are holding down that nickel spot. Cre'Von can play outside, they said. He's been working on that. That's great. But those two pretty much holding that down. But outside from that, Sidney Jones, Avonte Maddox, Rasul Douglas, you got your lower end guys there all fighting for a job. But I really am excited to see if Sidney Jones can come into his own, man. Who do you think that'll be? I don't know if you were on the show when we got to talk about that when I was saying I thought Sidney Jones would be 2. But what are your thoughts on that, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Sidney guy, so I thought it was going to be Sidney from Jump Street. Just the way he responded at the end of last year, I think it's his job to lose, and we'll see if anybody can battle him out for it, or can he stay healthy and be on the football field.
That's it right there. He's battling himself, in my mind, just like you said. And I think a lot of people talk about Rasul Douglas, Avonte Maddox. Now, I made a video specifically to show the comparison, with Sidney Jones playing 29% of the snaps and getting, 8 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. And then you look at Avonte Maddox at 51% of the snaps with 10 pass breakups, and then Rasul Douglas at 59% of the snaps with 10 pass breakups. That's same production, a lot less time for Sidney Jones. But problem is, a lot less time. So why are you missing time? And that's the part we talk about where it's him versus him. I don't think I think he wins the job, like you said. And can he stay healthy? That's what it comes down to, I think.
That's all it comes down to. Can you stay healthy enough to be on the field to show you can make plays consistently in this league? You know what I mean? And that's the only knock on him so far. Now, can you silence the haters and play a full 16? Really? I mean, I don't know how much deeper I can go about it. I love the kid's talent still, but it's another pick you can't miss on, and they better hope they didn't.
Yep. So I agree with you. I think he wins the 2, and the reason there is you look at moving around guys like LeBlanc, Maddox. They are versatile, so you're going to see it in certain matchup situations where all these guys can be at the field at the same time. Multiple corners, multiple safeties. We are excited. And one of the things they talk about, Mills, being a leader. That's one of the questions we had. Who's going to be a leader that steps up? So I was excited to see that, right? So Jalen Mills is a leader, starting safety.
Great.
I'm excited. And I think, what I love to hear was they said he's playing a new position, not a new defense. So he knows this, D. He's watched Malcolm, and I think he's going to do well. You and I talked about it a million times. This is where he should play. So not to beat a dead horse, but just going over some of the things that they talked about today.
Yeah.
We brushed up on the 3D tackles. So that's another area where you're going to see that. Look at the name of the game here. Versatility, playing multiple positions. That's what you love to see. And if these guys stay healthy, then that's what we'll finally get. And back to what whoever, Gorser or somebody had said earlier, top 10 D, hell yeah, man. We could be top 5 if we truly bring our A game. We'll see, man. But They were excited about talking about the linebackers and their speed that they added. We're all very questionable about that. I don't know how many times we could say that. Bradham, we saw, went to the Saints. So that's a name we can stop talking about. He's not coming back.
They just want to take everybody, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Sweep says if the season goes off, it's a now or never for Sidney Jones. No more excuses.
Oh, yeah.
No more time can you play corner in the NFL, or is it a time to get a 9 to 5?
Oh, yeah, he gets cut. Exactly. Yeah, the great right there, 9 to 5. And that's it. You'll be on the streets because if you're that much of a bust, you don't see it. Like, usually if you find yourself as a depth guy, you're a depth guy. If you're a bust, you're a bust later, man. I don't think he sees himself in an Eagles uniform at least. So I agree with that sentiment. And I'm hopeful, though. And from what I saw last year, he did great at the end. So let's hope for the best. Because if not, I'm not really banking on Rasul. I
love the kid's response, but I can't trust him being on the field yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I trust the game if he's on the field, because I think he was a guy who would have been a top 15 pick if not for the injury. So the talent was there, but then the injury just continued to stick around, and then it messes with you mentally. And now what I liked at the end of last year was that response and making a couple big plays. Now, listen, that's not enough for any proof. That's not enough. I need more. So this year is a make or break year for him, obviously, because he's on the last year of that deal too.
Yeah, exactly. So that was going to be my point. He has to, or we're not going to re-sign him. So great points there, Tom. Get it done. Do I see us running to the left still? Yeah, we'll definitely run into the left. Dillard, that was something they talked about. He's gotten stronger. They really like what they've seen. We'll see, man. We got to wait to see it. We know how we feel, but at least Peters is there at right guard in case things fail.
Anything controversial ever? This is why I don't listen to it. Like, is there anything controversial? I mean, everybody wins the Super Bowl with these freaking pressers, right? Everybody's Super Bowl bound. Yep. Everybody feels great about everybody, even though nobody's seen anybody. It's a mess. It truly is. He's gotten stronger. Good. He better got fucking stronger.
Exactly. And they said the same thing about Pryor too. They're like, "Oh yeah, he's great when we see him as a starter." It's like, wait, hold up. You see him as a starter, but you just brought in fucking Peters. What?
You're not gonna say you don't see anybody as a starter.
Exactly. It's like, okay, dude. Okay.
They fluff and porn. Like, this is like a fluff job. You know what I mean? These are all fluff. It's fluff city. That's why I can't listen to
We're watching Skinemax right now.
Like, Jimmy, I don't watch any pressers. I'm a pressless guy now, okay? Because I don't trust it. Like, no matter how much I love a coach, he's not going to say anything controversial in 2020. So I'm not going to get Buddy Ryan. You know what I mean? I'm going to get the Andy Reid. I'm going to get not throwing anybody under the bus, and I'm fine with that. But I learned to accept it. But now it's in every sport. You know what I mean? So now it's like,
watch out.
Nobody's going to toss anybody under the bus because they're almost scared to. So that's why I don't listen to it. I'm more listening to baseball interviews and pressers after games because you got a more chance of a manager in baseball taking a freaking jab than you do in any other sport. True. Like, really, and no other sports take jabs. I don't listen to enough hockey pressers. I mean, the hockey geeks who watch every game can let me know. But I'm talking about more the other three sports that you don't hear. Sometimes in baseball you'll get it, but other sports, like, how many coaches come out and publicly rip a guy for not playing good, or publicly say, like, yeah, he's not in our starting plan.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah. This guy stinks. I don't know how he's even on our roster.
And that's it. And that's why and everyone has to understand that. And we talk about that. And you can't stress it enough, especially with our Eagles, you see it everywhere, like Tom just said. But you know how they are, even when it comes to injuries, anything, dude. Don't take anything they say to heart. So as my job is to, unfortunately, listen to half that BS and try to break it apart and take from what I can. And I hear you, man. It's like, like the one thing, what was it? They're saying like, oh, well, we had Carson Wentz working on his fumbles. It's like, well, holy shit. Like, I would hope so, dude. I would hope that, yeah. I mean, the guy's phenomenal in the red zone, like 72 touchdowns and interception. You know what I mean? But the fumbles, my God. So, I mean, I thought that was a no-brainer. But whoever asked that question, I just, woo! Someday I'd love to be the one asking those questions.
A lot of smart guys.
It kills me. I literally, half the time, I want to, like, message them on Twitter after I hear a question, like, are you fucking, like, here, let me give you a question to ask, bro. Let me help you. But, hey, let them do them and we'll do us, and one day we will get there. But, one of the things at least only 3 of our guys had corona, but the scary thing is, Lane Johnson is one of those players. So he said he was strong and healthy. I saw his pictures he was posting and getting all jacked up. So now he's talking about Brandon Brooks. Exactly. They're both kicking ass and they're looking like linebackers rather than linemen. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. I think Lane looked healthy. I think
Can I say something about Brandon Brooks?
Yeah.
I don't give a rat's ass what you're posting. All right. I mean, I could care less how great in shape you are. You're not playing this year. So to me, it's irrelevant. Good for him. And I don't think shot at Joseph by saying this. I'm just saying, like, I don't care now. And it's not like I don't like the guy anymore. I love him, but it's like now you being hurt's trending. You're like now it's becoming something that I don't like. All right, like getting hurt once in a while, it happens. It's the NFL. Now it's a damn trend, and I'm not okay with that. So, it can't happen again.
We talked about it. Dude, talked about it before the draft. You got to be prepared for something to happen to him, Kelsey, the interior lineman. it's whatever, man. You didn't want to be prepared. Now, we brought in Peters. We brought, we're okay. We're fine. I'm going to not get pissed about it. I'm not
going to get mad about it.
I try not to, man. I blow my effing mouth out. But, Brandon Brooks, I feel the same way. He's been getting hurt. And I talked about it. People are like, you can't talk about him. Look at PFF. And it's like, I get it, man. PFF, woo! His numbers are great. He's the best, number one, all-time good. Yeah, great. Let me tell you something. I love the guy. Love him when he's healthy. Once again, we're back to talking about when he's healthy. So if he can stay healthy, yeah, but he hasn't. Like Tom just said, it's trending now, man. Now it's like, oh, no. So get over it, man. I'm over it. I really am. It's okay. Can Pryor actually learn this year to be that guy? Is it going to be Driscoll? Who's it going to be? If not, you better be drafting somebody next year that can play guard and center to be able to take over for Kelsey or whatever. Because now you're finding yourself at a problem with 2 of those places.
Well, now you waited.
I don't like it.
You waited too long. Now that's if Diller doesn't pan out. If Diller pans out, it shores up your whole damn line for a while. Right.
We're holding on to a thread there, buddy. Oh.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if he does pan out, you solidified your bookend left tackle for the next 8 to 10 years. I mean, your line automatically becomes better if he pans out to be legit. I mean, it's so much riding on that. Much is riding on that.
And I think you and I talked about it for a long time. It's great that Peters is here. Sure, it's weird that he's at right guard, but we wanted this. So this is going to push him whether he likes it or not. Get your ass in gear or Peters will take your job. So I love it. I'm excited about that. But what was the other question? I saw JJ. I think Arthego-Whiteside. You're talking about if he catches that touchdown. If he doesn't, we lose.
The Lions?
Yeah, I mean,
the whole thing. The whole thing changes.
Yeah, sure does. So, I mean, it was a bummer, but you can't live in the past. And we talked about at the beginning, Aaron Moorhead, Jason Avant coming in here. I think it's going to do wonders for these guys. Carson Walsh and Mike Rose sucked ass for this offense last year. Let's keep it real. We got some guys in here that are going to come in, help these guys, and going against guys like Darius Slade and Kel Ruby Coleman, pushing the corners to get better. It's going to be better practice. So, hey, man, let's Creed Humphrey, Eagles, first-round pick next year. Book it. All right. That's way too far ahead for me. I know a lot of people get in that, but there's a lot of guys I will be watching if we even have. If we have anything. I get it. And you always see those people like, oh, yeah, well, we're not going to. It's like, oh, thanks, Captain Obvious, because I don't worry about that every effing second anyway. Yeah, I know, man. But the Eagles next year, I think if he's going to be available at pick 32, then that's fantastic, man. Then sure, Creed Humphrey. Pick 32.
Yeah, pick 32. Yep.
Trade Stafford, Don. I don't know, man. I think maybe just give Matthew Stafford an offensive line. And I mean, he did have Megatron before, so I can't.
The defense?
And his defense. Matt Patricia, you thought that he was going to do something with. Then you get rid of Slay. Thank you. So, yeah, I'd trade him now and get something for him and let that kid at least try to get something for himself. He is a good quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I like Stafford a lot.
I think a lot of people hate on him, and it's like, dude, look what that team does to him. Whatever. I think he gets the treatment Wentz gets. People just like hating, man. What if Jeffrey catches that pass? Well, exactly, man. If Jeffrey would have caught the same, I don't live like that, but someone brought it up, so we're going to address it. But, yeah, I mean, There's a lot of what
I
ifs.
don't live in the what ifs. I mean,
Yep.
I live in what didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like you can say like, well, you know, if we make that play and then you get mad about it, that's a different story. It's not really what if, and it's saying, damn, we got to make that play. If we make that play,
you got to learn from it.
Probably win the game. But you know, at the end of the day, I don't live my life with what ifs. I live for the next play, and I feel like players need to live their lives. Especially at the professional sports level, if not every level, need to live their life for the next play. You know what I mean? When it comes to sports, so you can't go backwards. So I can't change the last play, but I can change the next one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I know professional athletes definitely sure as hell think like that. So, you know, that's what a guy like JJ Arcega-Whiteside needs to do. Last year doesn't matter. You know, you got a fresh start again. You know, you're a little more comfortable. So, you know, that's where you need to have a breakout year. And by the way, Houston and Dallas playing a ton of defense here in the NBA. 42-42 after the first quarter. So they're enjoying the bubble. A lot of real palmsy here.
Wow. Oh my God. Well, at least that's working out for the Rockets because, like we were laughing about, you know, they have to make their shots. Little midgets. You know, Porzingis is probably just eating them alive. Wow, that's something else. Yeah, but like Tom said, you know, those players have to be able to next play, man. Just brush it off. You learn from it. You don't just brush it off. But yeah, man. But that goes to show you, look how good Carson Wentz actually is and Doug Peterson actually is, and these coaches, that they've been sticking around and losing by just these little plays, man. Shows you how close they've been.
Doug's a goat.
Yeah.
Doug's a top three head coach, 5 at the worst in this league. Easy.
Oh yeah, we had that talk. Yeah, I think actually I don't think you were on that show, and we talked about that coaches. But yep, couldn't agree more. I mean, the guy won a Super Bowl in his second year, and look how he turned that. Give me a break. I love when people sleep on him. It's like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. You've been seeing what I've been seeing, taking these teams to the playoffs. Like we had no business the last couple of years making it in, and we did. Book of High Quality Band says Dallas and Philly might be facing a huge problem. Yeah, that's something we talked about with our aging line. Lane Johnson still got some years in him, but you know, Kelsey and Peters obviously were just brought back. Got to worry about that stuff. So yeah, 2 positions high for us, but you guys lost Frederick. That was a surprise, but you never know when the next guy could go. Tyron Smith. I don't know, man. So yeah,
he's got Lydell Collins, and you know, I still think you have young pieces. Andre Dillard's still a young piece, you know. So I don't think we're
just a couple pieces.
Yeah, like Sal Malo is still a young guy, so I don't think we're like overly old, but we're also not in the best situation.
Yeah, there's a concern. I think you could address it with one pick, right? You just a high pick. You just take a guard / center and be like, okay, well, you're going to pan out for one of these, and
hope the hell it hits. You know, Pop saying the crazy shit. They had McVay hired and Doug. How the fuck exactly? Like, how does that happen? Like, you know,
he hasn't even beat him.
He can't beat him, and then you're going to put him higher than him, and can't even beat him with a starter order backup. So stay hot.
Yep, exactly. And you didn't even win a Super Bowl like we did. What a joke. Those lists that they come out with and these experts they have, you know, that's why Tom, you know, when he brings up the takeover talk, that's what he's talking about. You know, a changing of the guard. It's a little ridiculous seeing some of that stuff. It just makes me laugh, to be honest with you. That's what we're here for, though, brother. Sean McVay, like, give me a break, dude. Like, oh my God, he can remember shit. Dude, I can too. I can bust you out some numbers really, really well, but that doesn't mean like I'm the best at something because I can memorize things. Look, the guy's a good coach. I'm not saying that, but there's a lot of damn good coaches right now that you're disrespecting by putting, not just Doug, that you put that kid in front of. So, okay. But that's that whole Madden world we live in, right? You know, they're all about the bing bang right in their face stuff. They want to be entertained, man. I get it.
Yeah, everybody wants to have the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, truth. Definitely is.
When,
but we're go ahead.
Real quick, the last thing, when I'm looking for a guy who can rally men, you know what I'm saying? That's what I want. A guy who can rally men. You think Mike Tomlin's the best X and O guy in the world? Probably not.
He is definitely a team builder. That's exactly. Yep. I agree with you. He builds up men. Agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
I think
I mean, Gav, yeah, him not in the top 100, it's a joke. It's a joke.
And he was asked about that, and he was like, yeah, sure, it's kind of a smack in the face, but he's not going to let it bother him. He's not going to let it deter him. He's like, he's going to let him drive him, and he's going to go show the rest of the world why he is one of the top. He was just number 3 a couple years ago with nobody's. They'll remember who he is. Don't worry, man. That's a joke. But yeah, Joseph, it's a joke. Those people don't know Sean McVay better than him, and he can't beat him. Like that. What? That'd be like being a boxer. You beat somebody 2 times. They're like, oh, he's a much better boxer. And I'm like, wait, what? I don't understand how that works. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like,
if I beat you. And if I beat you more than once, that means I'm starting to have a number on you.
And with a backup. But, I mean, the one time. So, hey, whatever.
Back up twice. Because Carson got hurt in.
Yep. Exactly. And I see Brian says here at the bottom, exactly. That's what we were talking about. You replace him with a high draft pick next year, and it could either be a guy that could come in and start as a guard and learn from Kelsey for a year, or if something were to happen, then play center. So, yeah, that was why I was very high on Cushenberry in the second round this year. I thought, hey, go ahead and just take a lineman in the second round. You'll feel good about it in the future. Well, apparently we're a quarterback factory, and now I don't feel good at all. So it is what it is. Carson said he's going to teach the kid. He's going to, do what he can. And what a great leader he is to look out for the kid, hold him under his wing. So love it, man. Carson doing Carson things. He's the leader we need. But we're going to get rolling out here, guys. Tom, do you have any final words before we get heading out?
No, I mean, just, everybody stay safe. Enjoy the NBA. Enjoy the NHL coming back. I was in the NBA tonight, and last night it started, and we'll get the Sixers tomorrow, a 3 p.m. game. So it gets to finish off the regular season. So it's a little 8-game stretch, and then the real game begins and the playoffs begin. So, if you want to look for a positive out of tonight for the Flyers, you look at Milwaukee, sort of where they left off, and another win here. It doesn't look like as of right now, doesn't look like the rest affected their style of play. And they got a dub. So maybe the Flyers and the NHL team that was hot can continue to stay hot. They're my final thoughts for tonight. And go Birds. Hopefully the NFL's got a goddamn plan. If they don't, well, they're going to give it's going to be a hold my beer, Rob Manfred. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see, Roger. Time's yours, honey.
Love it. And I love the point you brought about the Flyers, hopefully still riding that streak. Great point, like the Bucks did. So we would love to see that. Look forward to the games tomorrow and Sunday, Sixers and Flyers. Enjoy the sports while you can. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Gavin, Joseph, Brian, everybody that tuned in. Thanks, Tom, as always, for coming on, my brother. And we will see you guys next Friday. And we're going to have so much to finally talk about. It's going to be such juicy goodness. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Everybody stay safe, stay sane, and we will see you next Friday, same place, same time. And as always, go Birds!